Okay. So you're going to start on your backs, Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees flop apart. Sarah, if you do feel like you're too close to anything, feel free to move at any point. Hey, do what you got to do until the sun comes. So go on your backs and anchor the arches of your feet together. Enjoy this. I call this the sound of summer. It's so cool. Yesterday, I got the opportunity to practice at the beach, at my friend's beach club outside. And honestly, those sounds are different than these sounds. And when you really pay attention to the sounds of summer, it's pretty cool. The little things. Anchor the feet, let the arches come together, let the outer blades come together of the feet. And then if you can, I know it feels kind of funky to some of you, let your inner thighs drop. You can have one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. You can have your palms facing open. There's no right or wrong in any of this stuff. It's just what feels good and what feels right in your body, and just connect to your breath. And your breath may not be Ujjayi breath the entire time. It may be breath of survival. Just allow yourself to have a practice, whatever that looks like, whatever that feels like. Anchor the tops of the feet to the floor like a little mountain with your legs. Blink your eyes open. All of you have a block, which is awesome. So you're going to take the block in between the thighs, such as this. And this is kind of just a reminder to engage. Anchor the feet. So the feet come like a pair of railroad tracks to come together. Pull your torso up and lift through your core and have your palms open like this. So if the neck is sensitive, like I've been dealing with, I place a block underneath, another block underneath my head, and I really just make a micro movement. I'm still using my core, but it's less on my neck. So just you can support if you need, just giving you options. Good. Keep squeezing the block. Keep reaching your arms forward. Keep the lift in the eyes of the shoulder blades pulling up, and then lift the legs on an angle. Keep hugging the block. Good. Lower the feet down. Lift higher through your core, not your neck. And then lower down. Just in time, Amanda. Pull yourself up. Come over here, honey. Pull yourself up. You're going to do it again. You're doing it slow, which I know for some of you don't like. Lift your legs on an angle. Perfect. And if it's too much, you just do less or you stay in the first part, okay? No one gives a crap. Lower your legs, take the feet back to the floor, lift higher towards me, and then let it go. And when you let it go, like legitimately let it go. And then here you go, pull yourself up, go again. Are you breathing or are you just suffering? Right, probably both, a little bit of both. Lift your legs on an angle, do it slow. Rebend your legs, take your feet to the floor, feel your feet, feel the block, lift higher towards me, let it go. Yes, here we go. Pull yourself up, like literally pull yourself up. See how they're doing? They're so happy at home. Lift the legs on an angle. Keep squeezing that block. Rebend the legs, take the feet flat, lift higher. Exhale, let it go. You ready? Pull yourself up. You're always ready. Pull yourself up. Squeeze the block, lift the legs on an angle. This may be where you stay. You may stay with your feet down too. Lower your heels so they tap. If it's too much to get them to the floor, only go a little. Pull your legs back up. Keep the lifts of the shoulder blades. Keep squeezing the block. Rebend the legs. Lift higher. Keep your feet down. Exhale the breath, let it go. Let's try that again. Pull yourself up. Do it slow. We're not in a rush. Well, some of us are, but lift your legs on an angle. Pause here. This may be enough for some of you. You may lower an inch. That may be your spot. You could lower all the way, tap the heels. Lift them back up. Rebend the legs, take the feet flat, lift higher. Exhale, let it go. One more for fun. Pull yourself up. Lift your legs on an angle. Lower your legs any amount that works for you. If you can tap the heels, that's great. Lift them back up, keep scooping out the belly. Rebend your legs, lift higher. Exhale, let it go. Remove the block, hug the knees in, rock and roll a couple times. Come up through a cross leg position, plant your hands and step to your first dog, okay? Look at your feet and just make sure they're relatively hips width distance. Sometimes I feel better with my feet a little wider. Sometimes they feel better a little closer. So just giving you some guidance. And your hands are roughly shoulder width distance, a little wider for some of us that are tighter in the shoulders. The index fingers are forward, maybe a little bit turned out. Yeah, that's a good thing. Amanda, turn your index fingers out like an inch. Yep, there you go, because that's going to get the shoulders to open a little. And then let your head go and pick a spot to focus on. You may only focus on that spot for a little, and then you may find your drishti kind of shifts. That's normal. Breathe. Draw the waist up. You can bend as much behind your knees this morning as you need. Yeah. The center of your heels start to melt closer to the floor in time. Movement of your shoulders is away from your ears. Plug down. Thumb, index finger, baby finger. Your whole hand is active and working. Your outer arms are gripping in. And you're just breathing, holding, and feeling your body this morning. Roll forward to your first plank. And from down dog to the first plank, sometimes it's just not right. So it needs to be, you need to scooch it out a little bit. You need to walk it out a little. But ideally, you want your shoulders over elbows, elbows over wrist. Your tailbone is long. Your waist is drawing in and up. And you're trying to create a straight line of energy. And what helps a lot is to look at the front edge of the mat. Yeah, because then your neck is in proper alignment. The movement of your shoulders is away, and we start to work on taking that round out, which takes time for some of us. Plug down, feel your hands. If it's simply just too much or you don't want to work as hard today, you modify with your knees straight down. Don't be afraid to take the modification. Sometimes they're better. Right, draw the belly in, hold. Lengthen your tailbone more. Keep your eyes fixed, your arms straight, hips up and back to a down dog. Now we kind of found our spot, hopefully. Roll forward plank, stack your body. One thing to think about when you're holding plank, that kind of takes your mind off the idea of holding plank, is to lead with your chest, not with your head. Yeah. Keep your eyes fixed. You can drop your knees if you need to. Lower halfway to a chaturanga. It may be a micro bend. It may just be a little push up. Right. Re-straighten your arms to a plank. Hips up and back to a dog. Roll forward plank position again. Stack the body. Align yourself first. Your version of a push-up, the knees can drop. You can also just take a little micro bend. This time, drag yourself to your first up dog or cobra. If your lower back is sensitive, Tracy's doing a nice cobra. Lead with your chest here, hips up and back, downward facing dog. So your little vinyasa flows are designed to work for you. So you make them work. Sometimes it's just being in a down dog for extra breaths. The sounds of summer and the neighbors. Look where you want to go at the top of the mat. Take 2 big steps to get there right now. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Do that one more time. Long spine. If the hands don't quite make it to the floor, hands to shins is appropriate and works. Weight is forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Anchor your feet, ground your legs, look up with your eyes. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. So you can practice with your feet together or a little separated, doesn't matter. Arms slide up, look up a little. Dive over bent knees. Always bend your knees as you forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare you. Plant your palms. 2 big steps to get you back to plank. Take your time right here. Align your plank position. Decide if you want that push up, little or big, but it's no more than halfway. Push up, here we go, chaturanga. Drag yourself through an up dog or cobra if back is sensitive. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look to the top of the mat. Step or float your feet there. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. You don't need to go to concerts anymore. You can stream everything in your backyard. It's the most amazing thing. Arms reach up. Right, people are like, you going to fish tonight? I go, no, I'm watching it here. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Long spine, prepare. Step to plank. Just step. I don't want you to jump yet. Lower halfway if it suits you. Pull yourself through an up dog. When you do an up dog, activate your legs and your hands. Hips up and back, down dog. Connect to your breath. Arms are straight, look to the top. Step or float your feet through. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. New opportunity each time. Arms up, go for it. Dive over, bent knees, let your weight transfer you forward. Long spine to prepare, plant your palms. If you are going to hop, you're gonna hop light to a chaturanga. It's not for everyone. Nice, up dog pulls you through. Hips up and back, downward facing. This is like getting the cobwebs out. Look to the top, step or float to get there. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart, drop your arms. One more, arms reach up. Dive again over bent knees, forward fold. Try and let your head go. Long spine on the inhale, plant your palms, step or float through your vinyasa. Do it light, don't break a toe. Up dog. Hips up and back, downward facing. In your down dog, roll forward to plank. Yeah, hug your right knee straight in the best that you can. A little suggestion if you're suffering here is to lift your hips up a little higher, be more in a down dog and less in a plank if it's too intense. Regardless, your arms are straight up and down, your back leg is engaged and you're trying to scoop out your belly. Look straight forward, step your right foot smack in between your hands this morning. Turn your back foot on an angle. Use a block, you all have it. Place it to the right instep of the right foot. You're gonna snuggle your right foot and hand to the inside, your right hand to the inside of the right foot and extend your left arm up. Perfect, grip your right hip in strong. Yeah, open up your toes, Chrissy, a tiny bit. It's gonna be a little easier. Perfect, there you go. So grip your right hip in strong. Turn your bottom ribs. Look up with your eyes. Depending on how your left shoulder feels, your hand can come to your hip or you can slide it around and kind of into a kind of loose half bind. Yeah, just depends on you. Sometimes it doesn't feel great. Yeah, and you're welcome to pop the block up higher if you feel like the setting that it's on doesn't work for you. Yeah, be on the highest setting. The idea is to open up the hip. So when you're in this B variation here, turn your upper torso, your chest, and then see if you can look up. Anchor the back leg strong, get a little heavier in your hips, and hold. Feel your feet grounding you, feel your breath supporting you. And don't make too much effort, just be. Unravel the left arm, straight up. Left leg and left arm are gonna pull you back up to warrior two and you're gonna pause. Iron out the upper torso, so just as much energy through your left arm as your front right arm. What I would suggest, Amanda, is turn your palms towards the woods with your thumbs up, yes. And then use more of your back arm to kind of get your body straight up and down. And then think about your right knee, everybody, turn it open, yeah. Get heavy in your legs and think about a squat. Drop your tailbone down. So Beth, look towards Erica. Perfect. And then look towards your back left hand. Perfect. Now broaden your chest and use more energy to straighten yourself out. Now you can find your drishti without your body moving. Perfect. Stay there. 3 more breaths. Close your eyes. Try and be happy. I know it's hard in this pose. Feel your feet grounding you. Feel your legs supporting you. Feel your breath encouraging you. Straighten your right leg, take your hands to your hips, just pivot your right toes in. Your hands can be on your hips this morning, or you can clasp your hands behind your back. You pick bent elbows or straight arms. Inhale your breath, exhale, fold forward. So you want your toes to be a little pigeon-toed in, just a tiny bit. Yeah, and then fold down the center, let the head go. If having the hands bound behind you doesn't work out, just separate your hands and have them down on the floor. Bring more weight forward so your hips can lift. You almost want to feel like you're going to roll forward into the person in front of you. And I know those shoulders are tight. Yes, but think about letting your clasped hands drop away from you a little and see if that gives you a little bit of relief. Yeah, you may need to bend your knees to do that. Good. Come up halfway, slide your hands to your hips, come up the rest of the way. Open up your arms wide, and from your right hip, just turn your right foot out towards me. There you go. Back foot toes need to turn in at an angle a little. Reach out with your right hand and find Trikonasana triangle pose. Right hand to shin, left arm up. A block to the floor. Anything works for your body here. What you don't want to feel is any crunching in your lower back. Yeah. So everyone's going to be slightly different. Hug the right hip in strong, anchor the back leg, and find more length through your side body. The crown of the head is forward over your front right toes. Stay with it. So the moments that we hold are great opportunities just to explore your body and your mind. Look to the floor, circle both hands down, peel the left heel, walk the right foot to the right enough that you have hips width distance. Left hand tense, right arm peeled, easy twist. This is another one I have to use the block sometimes underneath the shoulder to see how that feels for you. Grip your right hip in strong. We have the tendency to wing that right hip out. Yeah. And if having your right arm straight up feels kind of crunchy, you can have your hand on the flat part of your back as an alternative. Yeah. Activate your back left leg, grip the hips in and twist only where there's little ribs. Good, you're gonna look down, place both hands to the floor for a moment. Tent the left fingertips, drop the left knee and turn the leg out at an angle. We're going into an extended modified side plank. So it's gonna look like this. You can curl the left toes under for a little bit more support. Lift your right leg hip height and extend your right arm up. The left hand is like an inch in front of the shoulder. You can have a tented hand. The palm can also be flat depending on you. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Flex the foot, lift from your inner thigh, reach the right arm up and feel the side of your body lift you. Plank position. Halfway to a chaturanga. Drag yourself through an up dog, point your toes, hips up and back, downward facing. Not so bad. Here we go, roll forward plank. Hug your left knee in towards the center line of your body and pause. So if it's too much, you lift your hips higher and you take yourself out of the plank and you'd be more in a down dog. Enjoy the Jersey summer heat because before you know it, it's gonna be cold out again. Suck the belly in, arms straight up and down. Look forward, step the left foot smack in between your hands. Turn your back foot strong at an angle, use a block, place it to the instep of the left foot and place the hand down. Caddy the back of the arm to the inside of the leg and peel yourself open. By the way, there's only one song on the playlist. The Jerry Garcia song, that version is 57 minutes long. No, I'm kidding. You never know, right? Grip the left hip underneath you. Yeah, that's a hard cue to kind of work out. Turn the bottom ribs and look up. Anna, you might need a tiny bit of a longer stance. Is this the tight side? Yeah. Take the block higher. Yeah, there you go, perfect. Take the top arm, wrap it around if you want to add the little bind, or don't. Good, breathe your upper chest open. Try coming to tented fingertips. See if that gives you a little bit more space. Yeah. And then get a little heavier in your legs as you hold. More breath. Unravel your right arm. From your right arm and your back right leg, warrior two. Pull yourself up. You want your whole body open. Yeah, turn the palms open. Sometimes it's good to sit down the center or look towards the back arm. And that kind of helps the torso straighten itself out. Yeah. Nice, really nice. You can close your eyes for a few breaths if that feels good to you. Wrap the inner left thigh open. As you lengthen your tailbone down into the pose, that's where the hip opening is happening. This is where the openness of the chest, you create that dimension. Just a couple more, which means 7 more minutes. Straighten your left leg. When everyone starts to wiggle their fingers, I'm like, okay, time to change cues. Hands to your hips, pivot the toes in. Interlace your hands, opposite grip if that's what you did. Inhale the breath, bend your knees a little, and then come down the center and fold. Let the head go. Turn the toes a little bit in, just a tiny, tiny bit, yeah. And then bend behind your knees so your weight moves forward into the balls of your feet. Yeah. Halfway up, come halfway up, slide your hands to your hips, mindful of your neighbor's bums, come the rest of the way up. Open up your arms again, so breathe your chest open, pivot from your left hip, turn the left toes out, yeah, and then slide yourself into triangle. I like doing it this way because you could really find what works as far as your body and the positioning of how wide you need your feet to be. Some people like a shorter triangle, some people need a longer triangle. So if you have the block, go to the outside of the calf with it. It's better positioning for the shoulder. Yeah. Feel the sides of your body zip you up, and a little micro bend in that front knee is helpful. And then connect here. Look to the floor, circle the hands down, walk the left foot over to the left, behind the ball of your back right foot, tent the right fingertips, and peel open into an easy twist. A block is helpful for some of us. Underneath the hand, grip the hips in strong. You got it. Watch that the eye of that shoulder, that bottom shoulder doesn't roll in. Yeah, it's hard. Okay, we're gonna transition to that modified version. Look down, right hand's gonna come to the ground. Take the right knee down, turn the right leg out, and stack yourself up for supported side plank. It's really good to know how to do this because a lot of times the side plank just doesn't feel great. This is really hard for the hip too, so it's a good workout. It's great for your hips, right? Breathe, lift from the inner thigh. Really nice work. Stay with it, couple more. Look down, plank. Bend your elbows in half, chaturanga. Pull yourself through an up dog. Hips up and back, downward facing. Land your right foot forward, turn your back foot strong, come on up, warrior one. For some reason you have an injury or warrior one doesn't feel good, you take crescent as another option. Yeah. The left ribs have to turn forward. These look good. Hands come down to the floor, through a vinyasa or right to a dog and just take an extra breath. When you get to your down dog, land your left foot forward, turn your back foot strong, warrior one. Get yourself grounded, then come up. Right rib spin forward, outer blade of back foot presses firm. Hands come down through a vinyasa, or do what you feel you need. Yeah, hips up and back to a down dog and just be still. Good. We'll put it all together. Get excited. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Long spine on the inhale. Weight is forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Sit into a chair. I know, it's our least favorite posture. Yeah, like our Zoomers can fake their chair. When you're in the little Zoom box, you definitely can be like, I'm going to take this. It's going to look like this. Right. But when you're here live with me, I'm like, sit in the chair. You could separate your feet too if it feels better. Weights in your heels. All right, enough of that. Press up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. We're just going to do 3 sun beats together. Here we go. Arms slide up. Sit again into chair. We take it from the top. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare you. Step or float or do whatever you need to do. Yeah. And then go to your down dog. When you get to your down dog, you'll land your right foot forward. Turn your back foot strong, warrior one. Do you need a hat? Do you want a hat? Hands come down. Plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Want me to stand there with an umbrella? Downward facing. Left foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. Hands come down through a vinyasa or right to a dog and just breathe and hold. Arms stay straight. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit again into chair. Weight moves into your heels. Press up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Arms reach up. Sit again. Drop your seat. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Step or float through the vinyasa. You can just step, step. Upward facing should feel good. It is a back bend. Hips up and back down dog. Right foot lands, back foot turns. Warrior one. Back down we go. Plank to a chaturanga. Up dog, slide yourself through. Hips up and back down dog. Left foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. You want to use the blade of your back foot. Hands come down, plank position. Chaturanga. Upward facing, open it up. Hips up and back down dog. Be still, be patient in down dog. Arms stay straight, look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit again into chair, weight moves into your heels. Press up to stand, drag it to prayer, drop your arms. One more, I know, good humidity. Arms reach up, sit again into chair. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your weight carry you forward. You got it, long spine sets you up. Step or float through your vinyasa. You can just step to a dog too. That was a good little hop, up dog. I like that. Downward facing. Right foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. Back down we go, through a vinyasa or just meet and hold dog. You want movements to be slow, steady enough that you could feel. Left foot lands when you're ready. Back foot turns, warrior one. Hands come down to frame your front foot, plank position. Chaturanga, upward facing, point your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Long spine, keep the weight forward. Exhale, fold. Let's sit into chair again. Weight moves into your heels. So while we're here, let's get this out of the way. Bring your hands to prayer. I know. It's like a packing list. You just have to like check it off, right? Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, turn towards the right. Yeah, so your left elbow is gonna hook. So the biggest thing is that you keep your body aligned. I'm not so interested in how deep you're twisting. It's more about the alignment, keeping the feet lined up, the shins lined up, the knees lined up. And then you work from there. Keep dropping the weight into your heels. Keep the breath flowing, most importantly. Stay really strong on your legs and come around to a chair. So when you pull back around to chair, really feel your lower half the body dropping down and the upper half the body moving up. So there's this kind of moving in opposite directions. Press up to stand up. Bring your hands to prayer, drop your arms. We do one more because we have to. Arms come up. Sit again into chair. I was nice. Drag the hands to prayer. Inhale the breath. Hook the elbow and twist. Also keep in mind, if you're sensitive in the lower back or anywhere in your spine, you don't have to hook. You can kind of air twist. Bad hair day. Okay, I'm going to give you a trick. Try not to look back, look sideways, and that's going to help take the round out of the back as you get in there. If you opened up your arms on the other side, do it here. Nice work. Stay with it. Couple more. Strong in your legs. Come around to chair. So really sit in chair. So the more of an Ashtanga jump back is to kind of plant your hands with your legs bent. And then from here, you would hop back. Obviously, if you don't hop, you just kind of stay low to the ground and you step, right? And then you lower. Up dog opens you. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Step your right foot smack in between your hands. Don't come up though. Turn your back foot strong. Reach for that block. You're going to set up for an extended side angle from the ground, right? Make sure that your right heel and your back left arch line up. And then place your block any level that you think is going to work for you. Is Alan home? Grip your right hip in. He's not doing. He one day joined and like there was a lot of grunting by the pool. And I was like, dude, I'm like on Zoom and recording the class for people. And left arm up. And he's like extra sweaty. I'm like, oh my God, go really far. Stretch the left arm up. But you want to encourage people. So you kind of have to keep it to yourself. So this gets you good. This gets the other part of the hip that we didn't get from the B variation. Right. So make sure there's a connection between the outside of your right leg and the inside of your right arm. Bend deeper into your front thigh. Now your left arm can stay as it is, or it can travel up and forward, but you have to turn from your shoulder so the baby finger kind of points to the ground. I don't know how this feels for the shoulder. Some days it doesn't feel so great. So you can just stay and breathe and hold and wait for me to say the next thing. I know, you're feeling a lot of good things. Take your left hand to your hip, stay close to the floor, look down, float to a half moon. You knew that was coming, right? Grip your right hip in strong. So your hand's on your hip, which is kind of guiding you into the pose, which is great. Get your right leg straight up and down like Tadasana. And then from here, you decide if you want to add more. Left arm can extend up. And it's just like that modified side plank that we took before. I like to come to tented fingertips to get out of the shoulder. Some of you like to add the bind. You know, all these things are just little add-ons. If they feel good, they feel good. More breath, stay with it. Look down, left hand comes to the floor, square your hips, keep the lift of your left leg, fold over your right leg in a standing split. Keep gripping your right hip in strong. Soften the shoulders, let the head go. Come to the fingertips, long spine, land your feet together, Set up for crow here. So feet come together for crow, all right? They have to line up. The knees separate and the hands go out in front of you like this, okay? The knees have to go high up into the upper arms. I've kind of been here, just staying here and just working on kind of zipping up the core and hovering the ground. Also, another option is to just work into squat malasana if this doesn't work, right? But the trick is to start with the feet together. So if you can get the feet to start together and you drop your seat, so you want to bring your seat really low. It's kind of like you're crouching down. Yeah. And then you work maybe lifting one foot and then maybe lifting the other foot. Step or float when you're ready, or crawl through a vinyasa. It's not always the most graceful exit. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Land your left foot forward in between your hands. Don't come up, turn your back foot strong. Reach for that block, place it to the outside of the left foot and set yourself up for an extended side angle A from the ground up. Good, and play with the height of the block, right? Maybe it needs to go higher. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I put it on the highest setting. It's really easy for me, like, or I have to backtrack. It just depends on the day. Then decide what's happening with your right arm. Maybe you're happy with it straight up. Maybe you want to start to wrap it forward and give yourself a little bit more of a side body stretch. But when you do that, make sure your left hip doesn't scoot out. You keep tucking it under and turning those bottom ribs. Nice. Stay with it, just a few more. If you wrapped your right arm forward, bring your hand to your hip. Everyone bring their hand to their hip. Look down, focus strongly on your left leg, and then bring the block out in front of you and slowly work into your half moon. Your right hand is nice on your hip because it's going to kind of give you some information about what's happening here. Flex your right toes. You got it. Nice, Dara. Very nice, Nancy. If you added in anything fancy, you could fancy it up now. And then just be in the pose. Nice work, Beth. Let go of anything fancy you added on. Look down, square your hips. Keep the lift of your right leg. Don't let it drop so fast. And fold over your left leg. Soften the shoulders. I kind of tent the fingertips, open out the elbows, and drop down. Good. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Land your right foot next to your left. Long spine on the inhale. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up this time. Drag it to prayer at heart, drop your arms. Good, stand on your left leg, draw your right knee in and grab below the right kneecap. Just start with this movement. Your left hand on hip. Go with your right leg, Beth. Other right leg. Other right leg, yeah. There you go. Hooking the big toe is definitely optional, right? The biggest thing is the standing left leg stays straight and you don't go into your lower back. So hooking the big toe, if it feels good and you're able to do it, mine's not going straight, but it's going straight forward. So that's important. Staying with the knee bent is wonderful. Stand up really tall wherever you are and then let your left arm slide up. Soften the right hip a little. Yeah. Because you're not kicking from the hip, you're just kicking with your hamstring flexibility. Nice, Kara, lengthen up. Keep the lift of the leg and then you're just gonna switch the grip. So with a bent leg, it's just gonna look like this. The right arm's gonna wrap back. The more you flex your foot, the more action you'll get for support. If you're grabbing the outer blade of the foot, that's great. Grab it and then reach back. Good work. Good, pull around to center. Rebend your leg, everyone, and bring your arms up. We're testing our balance today. Wrap the right leg around the left and then wrap your right arm underneath your left arm. If this does not feel good for the shoulders, hands can come to prayer. You can also just give yourself a squeeze. Come back towards us, right. We could see your face then. Someone made up the pose Sleeping Eagle. I'm convinced, because I don't know anything of this. You can come down. Someone just got bored or something. And like, what would happen if I fold forward in this pose? I don't know, all sorts of fun things with your balance. So if you want to give it a whirl, try. Yeah. Pull your torso up. Yeah. Release, reach your arms out and up. Slide your hands to prayer and just drop your arms. We gotta do the other side. So switch now, right leg. Draw the left leg up. Grab below the kneecap to start. You always would start with this because we don't know what we're getting. Right. Moving on, grab the big toe. This may be where you stop. Extend the leg forward if you're moving on. Remember, you're not extending from your hip. Obviously, your leg is attached to your hip, but you're only going with your hamstring ability. Right arm can grow up. Envision your body up against a wall. Yeah. Keep that leg in the air and just switch the grip. You could do it with just the bent knee and grab the outside of the thigh and then wrap that arm back. If you got the outside of the foot, the leg is forward and the arm is back. It's going to give you a pretty intense stretch to the IT band. Keep the lift of the leg, look forward. Bring your torso forward, your arms up. Everybody bend their left leg. You're still standing on your right leg with your left leg bent. Wrap the left leg around the right first. Get your hips low like chair, and then wrap your left arm, any amount. So do this much first. Get the weight in the standing right heel. Squeeze everything down the center. And then if you want to try on that little forward fold action known as Sleeping Eagle, you give it a whirl. It doesn't work for everybody. The top foot might need to unravel a little. Keep the lower half of the body very low. Just bring the torso up to start. Yes, nice work. Release, sweep everything out and up. Look up with your eyes. Dive over bent knees. We need to clear that out. Let the head go. Come to the fingertips, long spine to set that up. Step or float through your vinyasa. Pull yourself through an up dog, point your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing. Have your block at the top of the mat. Land your right foot forward. Come up to crescent lunge. You're on the ball of your back foot. Option to drop your knee. It's not a wimpy option. It's always there for you. Drag your hands to prayer. Inhale your breath, hook the elbow, take it to the right and twist. Just make sure if you are dropping your knee, you're not kind of crunching the knee into the ground. The knee's on an angle. The back leg's on an angle. So point your right elbow towards the sky, everybody. Yeah. And lean back a tiny bit. You want to get the crown of the head to line up with your back heel. And rather than looking back, look sideways or look up. That really tremendously helps the opening of the chest and keeping the spine long. Stay with a few more breaths. Grip the hips in strong. Activate your back leg and all the little muscles around your back kneecap. Continue the flow of the breath. Look down, place both hands to the floor, pause. Get our shit together here. Right. Yeah, we got to get ourselves together. We don't have much more time to get ourselves together. We're out of time. Left hand forward on the block, right hand on the flat part of our back. Do this much first, and then slowly start to move up like you're going to a warrior three, but you're setting up for revolved Ardha Chandrasana. I like to point my back toe. Yeah. Find the position with the block that works for you. Just think warrior three to start. Inner left thigh lifts up. And then you start to look right and the twist starts to come a little more naturally. Right arm may slide up towards the sky if you want more. If you want even more, you can bend at your left knee crease, flex your foot, reach with your right hand, grab your ankle and take the bind. If you feel like this pulls you out of the pose, backtrack and just do less. Square everything off towards the ground. Turn the toes towards the floor. Perfect. And then look towards me if you can with your neck. I know. Breathe. If you took on that back foot, release it. Good, look to the floor, place both hands down, take a giant step back into a low lunge. Plant your hands, activate your arms, hug your right knee towards your navel. Yeah. And then move your right shin out like you're going to a half pigeon, because you are gonna go there, but you're just holding for a second. Scoop out your belly. Land the leg down, half pigeon pose, and fold. Thank gosh. So whoever came up with this one was really smart. Yeah. Some of the other ones, you start to wonder. Fold. For some reason, this doesn't feel good, just let me know. We can find an alternative. And just breathe here. Sarah, try bringing the block out and resting your forearms on it like you're in more of a Sphinx pose. Keep your chest open. Yeah. I just think with your knee, you don't need to be so low in the pose. You can scoot your calf out a little further towards Erica if that feels okay, your right calf. Or you're doing your left leg, it's okay. Whatever leg you're doing, it's fine. Just scoot that leg out a little. Perfect. Make less struggle with the pose. That's your piriformis. That one I can't, that one you need. Yeah, exactly. Good, come up nice and slow. Lean on the right side. Swing your left leg forward like this. So bring the right leg forward and bend your left leg so it's in front of your right shin, such as this. Yeah. Reach down, grab the outer blade. I'm just gonna give you an IT band stretch. Outer blade of your left foot. Take your left hand behind you at the base of your spine. Extend the leg out. You may just need to be up really upright and twist less. Right. The leg moves straight forward. Anna, switch hands. Switch hands, Tracy. It's opposite hand to opposite foot. Yes. Perfect. You feel that? But keep your hand that's behind you close to you and sit up taller so you can use more of your core muscles. Pull around to center. Grab behind your thigh like a little basket. Keep the leg lifted. Drop the shoulders down the back. Now, without going into your lower back, which is, you know, what we're working towards, reach your arms forward. So you're scooping out your belly. Lower the leg down. Just cross the legs and step to a dog. You can move through a vinyasa. You can just hold down dog, whatever you feel like doing here. Glide your left foot forward, crescent lunge. Let's just finish up this side. Come on up. Drag the hands to a prayer at heart. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, lean out and twist. Amy, walk your purple mat, Amy. Walk your front foot a little more towards Tracy, and I think you're gonna have a little more success. Yeah, perfect. You want the feeling that you can lean back a little. Yeah, and you're really high on the ball of your back foot. Open up your arms for the final few breaths if you want more. If you want more. You might not want more. Keep gripping your left hip in. Stay with it. Look down, place both hands to the floor, pause. Right, reach for your block, place it any direction you know it's gonna be great for you, out in front of you. Right hand comes down. Good, left hand's gonna come to the flat part of your back to start. I always start here because this is switch the hand, Beth, and you're in good shape. This is gonna give you the information like, okay, I'm aligned, I can move on. The core is zipped up, the spine is long, the inner right thigh is lifted, and then you breathe on a little more. Take the left arm up if you're moving on, or your hand can stay as it is. Bend at your knee crease if you're adding on, grab the ankle or the foot, kick up and back. Keep gripping your left hip in strong. Yeah. If you try and grab your foot, doesn't work, you just go back. Good. If you grabbed your ankle, let it go. Regular revolved Ardha. Yep. Look down, place both hands to the floor. Take a giant step back into a lunge. Plant your palms. Activate your core in your arms, and then hug your left knee towards your navel. Once you get that going on, take your shin out on an angle like you're going to a half pigeon. Yeah. Hold. Land the leg down, half pigeon, and fold. It makes it more special when you do it that way. Yeah. Extra special. Fold. Let your body, your mind, everything just go here. Use the strength of your body, start to come up. Lean onto the left side, swing the right foot around so it's gonna look like this. You're just gonna bend the right leg up. Your left leg is bent in half. Right hand comes behind you, so it's the opposite hand to the opposite foot. So your left hand comes to the outside of the foot. The leg goes straight forward. Inhale the breath, exhale, lengthen and twist. Perfect, nice. Good, rebend the leg, come to center. Just cross the ankles, rock to your hands and knees. Step to a dog one last time. If you need to clean it up, do so. You can move through one more vinyasa, and then you're gonna find your way into your forearms for about 60 seconds of an inversion. So my inversions these days is just doing a dolphin. So I just bring my forearms down. Yeah. It's good to guide your hands with a block sometimes, so you know the separation of your arms is correct if you're a little unsure. Yeah. So in dolphin, you could walk your feet in a little closer. Dolphin is essentially down dog on your forearms. If this does not work for you, you can just wide straddle down the center and just hold as an alternative. Yep. You can clasp your hands too. So get in a little tighter. And then maybe you practice one leg lifting and just holding for a breath or two. And then maybe you switch it to the other side. You rest whenever you need. Good. Last little bit of energy. Nice work. Child's pose. Yeah, child's pose. Good. And then just come up and flip around onto your backs. We'll set up for a few back bends on our backs to finish off. Lay down. Separate your feet to their hip width distance. I mean, I immediately go to like, I'm using the block and I'm supporting myself in this pose and I'm making it just feel really good. But if you want to go for a full wheel, knock yourself out. So here you go. You could separate your feet hips width distance regardless. Take the block any level that works for you. You could set up, but you have to lay down first and then put the block underneath. If you feel wonderful and great and you want to work into a full wheel, you'll flip your palms, bring your chin to your chest, take a giant breath in, and you'll lift yourself up. If you're not into it, just set yourself on a block. You could wrap your arms around the block and clasp your hands. I actually really like that. So if you're going up into a full wheel, make sure your feet are forward. So go the other way, Erica, with the block. Turn it, go higher. Yeah. You could lift the legs up if you want to add more. Nice. If you went into a full wheel, you can come down, take a breath. Beautiful. Do one more when you're ready, or just stay. Start to work yourself out when you had enough. Straighten out your feet. Good. Lower your feet to the floor if you're on a block. Remove the block. Lower the lower back down, and then let your knees just come together and your feet go really wide to the width of the mat. This just kind of neutralizes the lower back. Yeah. Then reach down, grab the outer blades of your feet, pull your knees down around your ribs, and come to a happy baby. Happy baby. Spread your lower back against the ground. Feel your upper shoulder blades melt to the floor. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Bring them close side to side, and then drop your knees over to the right. Scoot your hips to the left. Just take a very basic supine twist to let any extra junk go. So knees to the right, upper body to the left. Yeah. Come through center and switch the legs and the twist. And then come up through center, hug your knees in, give them one even squeeze. And then you'll slide into a rest, Shavasana, which is by all means the best pose. So you made it this far, you might as well give yourself another 60 seconds to just chill. Complete rest. Make yourself comfortable for the next minute or so. Big breath in. Complete exhale, breath out. Any little movements that feel good in your body right now. Start to draw your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around the front of the shins. Squeeze them tight. And then if and when you're ready, you rock yourself up to a seated position. Sit up really tall and just feel for a second before you bounce off your mat. Right to your next thing for today, you just sit in yourself. To sit within your yoga practice. It kind of stewed. Let your hands come to a prayer. Always have gratitude. So important to just pause, be grateful for even the little things. Lift your head, open your eyes. Namaste. Thanks for sharing this time with me, guys. Awesome job. I'm going to teach again next Wednesday, same time, same place. Take off Friday because I'll be in Boca.